Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our crowdfunding site, or at least for checking what it's all about. My name is Jeff Halper, and I'm the head of Icad, the Israeli Committee Against House Demolitions, that's located here in Jerusalem, but we have branches in different parts of the world. Activists that work with us, including Icad UK, which is sponsoring this crowdfunding project. The project is, as you can see from our page, to translate a book I wrote recently, Decolonizing Israel, Liberating Palestine, Zionism, Settler Colonialism, and the Case for One Democratic State, from English into Arabic. This is very important for our work. Icad is a political organization. It's an Israeli organization. Its focus was, of course, and is on Israel's policy of demolishing Palestinian homes, both in the occupied territories and inside Israel itself. But more than that, we use the house demolition issue as a vehicle for exposing how the occupation works, and in fact, what Israel's intentions are vis-a-vis the entire country and any prospects of peace and justice with the Palestinians. So even though we're an Israeli voice, we're a crucial Israeli voice because there aren't that many critical anti-colonial Israelis willing to speak out and willing to work as partners, as comrades with our Palestinian partners in terms of trying to figure out how to achieve a just, sustainable peace between our peoples. Now, it's important to translate our works to each other. In other words, it's critical that Palestinians understand what Zionism is, what Israel's all about, what its goals are, what its purpose is, especially in terms of what I consider taking over the country. Zionism was a settler colonial movement. So the idea was to Judaize Palestine. In other words, to take over the country. And this has been a process ongoing now for 125 years or so, and to transform an Arab country into a Jewish country. And I detailed in the book exactly that process of colonization and how it happens. So if Palestinians are thinking of liberation, the PLO began in the 1960s as an anti-colonial organization. If there has to be a struggle against colonialism, it means that Israeli Jews and our Palestinian partners have to be partners, comrades in a joint struggle against colonialism. And this is a very different idea than what you usually hear about as an Arab-Israeli conflict. The idea if this is a conflict, then conflict resolution is enough. We can negotiate, we can compromise, and somehow we'll come out with some kind of a deal. But that's not the case. This is not a conflict because settler colonialism is a unilateral process. And the Palestinians weren't consulted, they weren't considered. And until today, Israel does not accept the national rights of Palestinians or their right to have sovereignty on their own. So rather than conflict resolution and negotiations, we have to have a process of decolonization. And then on the basis of that, after we decolonize, then the question is, well, what's next? And here Icad is a founding member of a Palestinian-led initiative called the One Democratic State Campaign, in which we're working together, Israelis and Palestinians, to, after we decolonize Zionism and Israel, we want to replace it with a democratic state of equal rights for all its citizens, an inclusive state of everyone in this entire country, and of course bring home the refugees and begin to build a state and a civil society and a political community in which we're all partners. We're all part of a new civil society, a post-colonial civil society. So all these are very important for Israel. It's very important for Israelis and Palestinians to be on the same page. So the importance of translating my book into Arabic is to give the wider Palestinian community and even the wider Arab world beyond a better idea of what Zionism is, what settler colonialism is, what Israel's intentions are, on the one hand, and then beyond that, of course, to begin to formulate together what one democratic state would look like. What are the needs of the Palestinians in that kind of a state? So that it's not only important that my book be translated into Arabic, but it's very important later down the line that we begin to translate Arabic articles and books that deal with these issues that we have no access to. They're not in English and they're not in Hebrew. So this kind of a dialogue that translating my book is beginning that process is crucial in order to lay the foundations of our ability to work together and to formulate a political plan, a political program that will lead us towards this post-colonial reality. So we're asking you all to support our campaign. We're trying to raise at least £5,000, which is how much it would cost to translate my book into Arabic, plus probably another £5,000 or so in terms of publishing and disseminating the book throughout Palestine, throughout the wider Palestinian communities, like the refugee community and the diaspora, and to key allies within the wider Arab world. And so this, I think, is a very political project, a very important project, and one that really will help build a basis of critical anti-colonial struggle that will lead us to a new, just reality. So thank you very much for listening to me for these few minutes, and we hope you'll contribute to our campaign for a just peace, a sustainable peace, a peace of equality and justice and sovereignty for the Palestinians. I'll leave you at that. Thank you very much, and hope to hear from you as partners of our own in the future. Bye.